Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie, Crypto Granny here. Good morning. Let's talk about today, the news, 12th of June, 2024, and there's a lot coming out at the moment. So let me just take this back. It's a bit fast. We have the CPI that was out today, and we have the FOMC meeting that was also today. They did not rate hike, and they left the US targeted cash rate at 5.25 to 5.5%. We have seen the stock market being quite negative, and certainly with the elections coming up in Europe, particularly in Germany and France, there's been a far-right surge in European elections, which certainly pose a threat to political stability in France and Germany. We have seen the dollar rise, we've seen treasuries fall, and obviously the FOMC meeting today, which is quite important, which they left rates unchanged. We did see the euro fall initially, but then when they left rates unchanged today, the US Fed, the euro went through 110. Now, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Social Democrat, saw an absolute bruising, got killed. And we saw the yields come off quite quickly as well. We saw basically European equity markets come down quite a lot as well. And we've seen the France bond yields and Germany bond yields be quite volatile, okay? Up and down like a lady's dressing gown, if you want to call it that. But, this is what's creating a lot of volatility. People are certainly looking at the 10-year, France 10-year bond rate against German 10-year bond rate. And France was trading much higher than it has been for a long, long time. We used to look at this measure years ago in terms of increased political risk as well as country risk, okay? And no one's talking about country risk. Country risk is really important. And something we used to look at probably about, 20 years ago. So that's why we need to keep on look at all different markets, simply because there is just so much going on, and all markets affect the cryptocurrency market because of liquidity, cash, and clearly, speculation and margining and that sort of thing. So we need to be mindful of all those markets. So we've been keeping an eye on clearly equity markets and stock markets. We did see the Dow was down quite a bit, but it's come back quite a bit. Today, the S&P's come back a bit. The Nasdaq was quite weak. That has come back, but we've seen European markets down. Now, Apple's got a big AI push. These guys are seen as laggards. I do not like Apple as a stock. They have missed the plot in the last 2 years. Tim Cook, the CEO, has done nothing. They have an IT developers meeting on Monday, and now they're coming out with a product called Apple Intelligence to try and fight ChatGPT and all those AI chat services. Also, the New York Federal Reserve Bank of New York has many senior level departures, raising concerns about diminished responsibility and losing their credibility in financial markets. There's also concern about withdrawing money from the money system. Apparently, US home costs are dramatically, an increase of 26% since 2020, including taxes and insurance. And apparently you need an average outlay now just for a typical single house, not including mortgages, of something like $18,000. And it means that affordability for US housing in the US is just not there. As we said, the US came out with stable interest rates. The UCPI was out, and that was 3.3 annualized year on year, down from 3.4. CPI month on month was 0. They're expecting 0.1. Core was 3.4, and they got better figures. And after that, the Dow certainly rallied quite substantially. It was up about 350 points or something, and so it came back quite a bit. But the market is extremely volatile. Okay, now the interest rate for the US, as I said, was 5.25 to 5.5, but they came out and basically no change to interest rates, even though they are looking at inflation certainly and any other forward indicator of inflation. Notwithstanding, this week we have seen a lot of rate cuts, okay? We saw the European Central Bank rate cut. We saw a Danish bank rate cut by 25 basis points, the European Central Bank rate cut by 25. Bank of Canada rate cut by 25 basis points as well. And, it doesn't surprise me the Fed is sitting on their hands at the moment. It's the right story, given that other European nations are starting to cut rates, okay? And as you can see, Denmark cut their rate by 25 basis points. And we're saying, you know, unemployment's starting to rise, things are tightening up in terms of credit, and we're not getting the growth we need, so we need to cut interest rates. Now, that's very understandable. But now we've got this political risk of different governments coming in that are very far right. And even if the central bank or the European Central Bank cuts rates to 3.75% respectively, the Bank of Canada 4.75% respectively, the European bond market is just all over the place. And the German bonds could be higher than you know, the French bonds, even though the European Central Bank is cutting interest rates because of country risk, sovereign risk, which will be a big one. Now, I mentioned the other day, Robinhood did a $200 million deal to acquire Bitstamp. Bitstamp is one of the oldest exchanges out of Luxembourg. It's a very, how can I say, a very simple exchange, doesn't have a lot of coins on there. But this deal for Robinhood is a fantastic deal. 200 million, that's all they paid in cash. This is a wow deal for them because Bitstamp has all the regulatory approval in Europe and MiCA, markets and cryptocurrency assets, and it's a great story for those people. Now, I looked at Bitcoin today. It was around 69,400. It was up, excuse me, about 13% overnight. We did get people to buy PEP. And, you know, if we look at the market is looking very good. Actually, I can't really see some, sorry. This is a test to change my, you know, my thing to you guys, just so you're interested. I might have to go, just bear with me. I might have to go to live coin watch because this is not very clear on this video. So I apologize for that. So just give me a sec and I'll go to live coin watch and we'll pull it out from there. It's going to be a lot easier. So bear with me for a minute. Make sure we've got the right share. Here we go. So just make sure you can see that. Right share. There we go. So what we've got here at the moment is Bitcoin dominance is 53.43. XRP dominance is 1.07%, going down and looking very bad. Ethereum's dominance is under 17% again at 16.6. Tron dominance is actually rising at 0.4078, which means the price of Tron is going up over and above, say, an XRP. Link is sort of going down slightly at 0.37. Solana is still looking pretty good, 2.84. And Bitcoin dominance hasn't really moved much. Bitcoin Cash at 3.5. We have market cap today at 2.536 trillion. Volume is very large at 80 bill. And liquidity is very good at 6.17 bill, which means there's new money coming into the crypto market. And that's a good, healthy measure to see within this market, the overall market. You know, 6 billion in liquidity, which is cash. Now, Bitcoin current at the moment is 68,791, up 2.2. Ethereum 3565, Binance 621. Expecting great things out of Binance. They've got 200 million clients and they're getting bigger and bigger and more revenue. Expecting great things out of Solana. When you see the news stories today, Solana's everywhere. They're at 5% today at 156, but I'm expecting Solana very quickly to go through $200 very quickly. XRP is at 0.49, even though there's some great stories out about XRP today. It's still not doing very well. If you compare it to Bitcoin, which is a minimum risk, you know, it's barely, you know, it's not even outperforming Bitcoin, okay? Dodge is up 6.59, even though XRP, there's some fabulous news stories, and we'll discuss that. ADA's at 3.9, SHIB 365, Avalanche is at 6% up, which is great for those guys. We love it. AVAX as well at 33.26. I don't know what this MCG thing is, metagame. All of a sudden that's in at number 13 here on live coin watch. It's up 61.73. I might have to have a look at that. We do like some memes just for a little bit of risk, but you've got to have the appetite and you've got to be, you know, you've got to be able to put up with the risk volatility, and also you've got to be in a position where you can lose your money because, you know, memes we'd invest in the wrong one, lose all our money, or we could make mega dollars, right? Tron is 0.11 negative, just at 0.185. Can't seem to get through 12 cents, 12.5 cents. DOT 683, very cheap. OP 45.77. Chainlink extremely cheap. One of my favorites for this year, up nearly 7%, but it's only at $16. BCH is another favorite, 458, very cheap. Keeping an eye on NEAR. I do like NEAR, I have to say. Matic 64 cents, been a real underperformer. Litecoin's at 78.66. So, you know, some have been disappointing, but look, we're in the right stories in our portfolios. And our portfolios are doing very well. I monitor them, you know, probably 4 or 5 times a day at least. So let's go back to the video. And, you know, I had to just show you that because you couldn't see that. So there's a great deal of information out re Polkadot today. I wanted to show you some other stuff re XRP, but the thing is, you know, clearly, you know, I had problems with Lumen 5 today, which was quite annoying. But Polkadot's doing a lot in terms of Web3, and they're supporting another product, and they've awarded a grant to Polkadot East, which I think is very interesting. They're in a lot of different things. Polkadot, they are extremely cheap, under $7. I'm expecting big things. Apparently, they granted a design for a decentralized futures. Polkadot East is an independent entity leading investor relations and growth initiatives at Polkadot. And they're talking about a grant for Web3 in terms of, you know, basically creating more decentralization. And this supports Asia as well. And they want to grow in the region of Asia using Polkadot, which is fantastic for Polkadot, and using Polkadot's mainnet and the technology, okay? Max Rebel, the co-founder of Polkadot East and CEO of Harbour Industry Capital, Polkadot Focus VC, said that we're very happy to use Polkadot because the mainnet is incredible. We can increase things with decentralization as well as strengthening our protocols. Other founders, a leading Polkadot parachain, added we've supported DeFi and Polkadot East with, you know, thriving, and we're going into Asia and Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area where we're going to have lots of different relationships and lots of opportunity for Polkadot itself and the network and the technology, excuse me, to actually expand Polkadot's ecosystem across Asia. Sorry, it's a bit fast, but I'm just getting used to doing the videos for you with my talk. So Polkadot's got an amazing story, and they invest in VCs. They also target Asian universities, blockchain collectives and associations, fintech, Web3, local governments that, you know, that are very interested in using their blockchain. And being in Asia, Polkadot's in the right system, in the right area, okay? They do give decentralized future grants, but, you know, again, it's for startups and venture capital where they can see the ecosystem of Polkadot, they can expand that network, okay, in a decentralized process with innovation within the Polkadot ecosystem. We believe Polkadot East will play a pivotal role in enhancing connectivity and empowering the community in Hong Kong, driving forward for the vision of a truly, you know, diverse ecosystem with decentralization. And I think this is a great story for Polkadot. There's a lot of great stories out there where Polkadot is incredibly cheap. In the last rally, Polkadot got to about 55 or 58 bucks, people. It's only under $7. They're also got parity technologies, and you know, they've developed all that as well. And that's actually been bought in-house. It should be a private organization. They want to focus on organizations that aim to generate profit as well as non-profits for the environment, certainly for the air, for everything else, right? And they're doing a lot to expand their Polkadot ecosystem. Now, coupled with that, they've got some large developer rights going for the next 10 years, where they're going to give $1 billion away to new programmers and developers who can actually create a different ecosystem for Polkadot with Web3, which is decentralization, okay? Not only that, you know, they've got a Polkadot auction system for charities, for basically, you know, for collectibles and all sorts of things, okay? Polkadot Parachain Moonchain launched a $13 million web granting fund. So you do see that Polkadot's got a lot of things on the go, and they seem to be in all the right places. I really do think Polkadot will do very well this year. It's just too cheap for the income they're actually generating. Now, there's also quite a lot of stories out at the moment re Ripple. And Ripple barely went up today, which is very disappointing, but the stories are incredible, okay? Ripple. Now, 80% of Japanese banks partnered with Ripple, apparently in a study, and I was aware of that, and they're all using XRP and using XRP for transactions, which is fantastic for XRP. In Japan, they love Ripple, and particularly SBIO, which is a very large investment bank in Japan, okay? So, you know, not only that, we've got new partnerships, and they're expanding also into tokenized gold and tokenized silver, which I think is quite amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, Ripple's doing a lot at the moment, and they're also doing Ethereum virtual machine compatibility as well within their network and their system, where you can actually plug into Ethereum. Now, going back very quickly, Ripple also are partnering with another company, which is good for them as well, in terms of networking and more clients that have to pay to use their ecosystem, right? So, they've been partnering with quite a few people in Asia, and they're also setting up an investment fund, which I think is very important as well. So they're also partners with Clear Junction to improve cross-border payments as well. Also, BlackRock and Citadel came out to launch a new stock exchange in Texas. This is going to be very, very interesting. If they open up a new stock exchange in Texas, they're going to be in direct competition with New York Stock Exchange, CBOE, and CME. As I mentioned before, Ripple introduces XRP Ledger and Ethereum virtual machine compatibility, which is huge, right? Absolutely huge. Ripple are basically going into everything that VeChain is going into, Solana, Polkadot, and many others, Polygon. But the thing is, with the XRP, you can transact within 3 seconds and it costs you a nickel in terms of fees. It's one of the best technology systems out there. And it's just a shame the SEC is still on their back and they still issue $1 billion in the market every month. It just makes it an overhang of their coin, unfortunately, because all this market supply of XRP keeps coming to the market. And that's why I don't see XRP performing very well this year unless the SEC backs down or Ripple pays out the SEC. And I don't think they're going to do that either. So unfortunately, we just have to wait. But again, most of my clients don't hold a lot of XRP. Maximum might hold in a portfolio of 100,000 is $5,000 or even maybe $3,000 because we just don't see it performing as well as it should. So let's go to the next stories here. Now, as I said, the rates came out today. The Fed's left rates the same at 5.5%. And they, said, look, we're not expecting inflation to go up much, but, we still see the eyes of inflation. So we're not changing rates today. And so the market, all markets, fiat markets as well as crypto markets, did go up, okay? Also, just something to note, because I do trade everything, Ghana basically, had trouble with their coffee auctions, and they're losing a lot of money, which is unfortunate. Many people are using Chainlink. Chainlink's got a new client called the Gnosis. They're using Chainlink's protocol and blockchain adapter for interacting with tokenized assets, renewable energy, and carbons. Chainlink's amazing, right? And Gnosis is another crypto that's using Chainlink, empowering Gnosis developers with cross-chain connectivity, thereby, sorry, it's really quick, I've got to slow this down. Just testing these people, so bear with me. So empowering Gnosis development with cross-chain connectivity, viable computer enables them to develop powerful applications that solve real-world use cases. Ultimately, by providing mission-critical infrastructure, Gnosis and Chainlink are set to scale the web ecosystem to mass adoption. Now, that's really strong words, people, and that's why I love Chainlink so much. Every crypto out there, whether it's the mints of the 455,000 mints on Solana, on their mainnet in May, or whether it's the other 50,000 coins and tokens or anything else, or the fiat market, because of tokenization, they need Chainlink's network and mainnet, okay? And they need their pricing oracles and their security protocols. Very important. Chainlink is going to be mega. And I do believe it will perform better than Solana, as I said. Excuse me. So we are, in terms of private investment portfolios, overweight Chainlink, clearly, for this year. Now, Tezos activates its 16th upgrade, introducing data availability layer for improved performance. Now, Tezos, I love Tezos. It hasn't performed this year. It's very cheap. It's under $1. And honestly, the Tesla's got an amazing system as well, right? It can do everything. It can do hard forks without even having to change the software of the system, of its own system, okay? I think Tesla's is amazing, but it's not time to buy it. They're basically looking at applications for gaming and ticketing, as well as NFTs and everything else. Also, a report came out from Ben Mellon the biggest bank in America, the oldest bank as well, 39% of family offices are looking at investing in crypto. Now, family office are people that have a lot of money and they create a treasury for their family funds where they actually become professional investors, or they get professional investors to run their family funds. The 2024 BNY Mellon Wealth Management Study reveals a diverse perspective among family offices regarding crypto investments. And this is really important, people. Approximately 39% of the surveyed family offices are either actively investing in cryptocurrencies or are considering them, highlighting a keen interest in this modern asset class. These offices are motivated by the desire to keep abreast of new investment trends and opportunities presented by digital assets. Conversely, 38% said they weren't interested, but 39% still pretty high, because don't forget, family offices are generally very wealthy individuals that are very conservative, and they're often older than 50 or 65, and it's old wealth that's come from generations. So I'm surprised that 39% is so high as it is, because as we know, crypto is full of huge risks, more risks than all the markets put together. But then if you get it right, the returns are astronomical. So the fact that it's 39%, I think is very, very bullish for cryptocurrency. There's a lot of family offices in Australia with old wealth from mining, from gold, from stockbroking, for example. There's a lot of old wealth, particularly in the US and UK, but also a lot of old wealth even in Eastern Europe and Switzerland, for example, plus Asia. Singapore being one where literally a millionaire is being created every day in Singapore. And from China as well, and Hong Kong. So, there's a lot of opportunity in this market. If family wealth come into this market, family office wealth, you could be adding to the market total cap of cryptocurrency another 3 trillion. I think it's very, very bullish. You've got Fidelity on the other side saying the same thing about family wealth, but also family office wealth. And, all the private advisors that work for all the big investment banks are all looking at, cryptocurrencies, because they all, in the past and certainly even now, are very equity centric, if you know what I mean. They just focus on equities and nothing else, right? So this is a great diversification for them. And certainly if you invest in cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin or other blue chips, your Sharpe ratio goes up quite considerably. In other words, the extreme return is an alpha return over and above the market index with a reduced risk compared to equities. And it's a great story for portfolio management and investments to basically make extra returns rather than just the index of, say, the equity market or the bond market, okay? So this is a very good story, I think, very good story indeed. So what else we got here? Let's go through this just a bit slow here. What's happening here? Technology, hey? Another thing that really surprised me, this article, that popular hedge funds are basically massively short Bitcoin futures to a record, and that really surprised me. Apparently 7.5 billion net short futures, which, to me, that just screams a market where the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, because there's no supply of Bitcoin. But futures, you can have as much supply as you like from the exchanges, right? And that's just stupid, because all that money that's going into all the approved deposit funds or all the ETFs, exchange traded funds for Bitcoin, every day BlackRock and Fidelity are taking, 200 million or 500 million new deposits for exposure to Bitcoin, which means they have to physically buy Bitcoin. So it really, for me, hedge funds selling futures on Bitcoin, it's a recipe for disaster, and I think they're going to get absolutely hammered. Just like a recipe for disaster if you're selling GME on the stock exchange and it's a small float, just like Bitcoin, and you're selling it. Even another hedge fund manager was selling GME, the same history, and got caught again with all the retail clients just recently buying GME. Just stupid. You never, ever sell a small float, no matter what it is, right? Just crazy, because it means people can manipulate it because it is a small float. You just buy heaps of it and you don't need to buy a lot, and it pushes it up, right? It's as simple as that. So I'm very surprised that the big hedge funds are short Bitcoin, and I think they'll get killed on this trade. Absolutely killed. Okay. So that gives me more confidence, and I'm more bullish that the cryptocurrency market is going to go for the biggest rally ever into Mr. Donald Trump becoming the president of the American people and the government, right? Also, they'll end up cutting rates, and Mr. Trump's going to create so much wealth, it's not going to be funny. And as I said before, the risk is you actually sell too early. Now, Polygon's got some great stories out there. They launched a $720 million treasury for blockchain grants to get people to use their ecosystem, because don't forget, all these developers, they're looking, to develop on someone's mainnet, and there's a lot of competition for great developers, right? Why should I, as a great developer with incredible skills, why should I use XRP, or why should I use Polygon, or whatever, Solana, unless they give me lots of benefits? Why am I going to move? And has it got a great social background, a great, background in terms of, honesty and loyalty and all those good things, and great management, So, people have to think very carefully about who they're going to work for and what systems they're going to develop, right? And all these offerings to community and brands are just, like what can I say, like a bonus to come on, to just start developing on their systems and economic systems, so that so the cryptocurrency ecosystem can expand, right? And get more clients and more fees. And that's the name of the game, as simple as that. Solana is doing an incredible thing. It introduces Web3 gateway for luxury brands. The Bond label for apparently is using Solana blockchain for authentic customer engagement. And this is really interesting, because when you look at this, Solana Labs announced a new platform for luxury brands called Bond. And basically, Bond will look at the collectibles and anything that you want to sell or buy, and basically you can trade it like a market, right? And I really like this. Sorry about this. Still trying to work this out. Apparently they look at all different types of things, and also they authenticate these goods and make sure the brand is what it's supposed to be, and it's not a copy of that brand as well. And I think it's a great initiative. I really do. Which shows you they're going into different things as well. And I think it's very interesting. Also, they increase their mainnet to upgrade their address and network stability and make it faster. Also, Circle announced the Solana program wallets, enabling integration. I mean, there's so much going on here. Polkadot also was in the DeFi thing. It just goes on and on. Sorry, some of this is out of thing, but what we've got is PayPal supporting Solana now as well. Solana's upgrading its network. It's also got something to do with, bear with me, seems moving too fast, sorry about that. Also, Solana now gets TipLink app for easier payments on mobile. TipLink's new Solana wallet adapter eliminates complex interfaces and seed phrases, making crypto transactions easier for all. So TipLink's new Solana wallet, I must look at that because I'm really interested in that. Definitely. TipLink launches a new wallet adapter for Solana apps. It's integrating apparently with Solana, bear with me. And I really like the sound of this, and I've got to have a look at this, people. Sorry about this, but it looks pretty good to me. Programmable wallets, Circle are also supporting Solana, which is amazing. I mean, Solana's got some huge clients, seriously, but I still believe Chainlink will outperform Solana this year. Circle expands with Solana to increase the network, and they're looking at all different cross-chain protocols and seamless payments with USDC and Euro. Circle has a full stack platform. They're going to be integrating with Solana for Web3, which I think is quite amazing. So look, there's just so much going on, people, seriously, and I can't even keep up with it. But also, I've got to bring out, remind me, I've got to bring out a video refetch and Ocean and the other one that are all merging into one artificial intelligence ASI. Now, apparently that was supposed to happen on the 12th for the exchanges, but it's been delayed to the 15th. I think it's the 15th of July, but I will check that for people that are holding Fetch, and that's quite a few of you guys and girls. Okay, so I'll come back to you on that. But anyway, hope you're all well. Please look after yourself, and I'll talk to you very soon. Look after your beautiful animals, your beautiful babies, your wife, husband, and your family and friends, and I'll talk to you soon. And thank you very much for listening.